Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is a monthly makeup basket video, Italy edition. I am beyond impressed with myself that I was able to have everything fit in this little pouch here. This is an old Clinique bag that I've had since I was a teenager. And I do have a foundation here that I kept separately. I put it in my luggage because it's a glass bottle, so I didn't want to put it in the bag, but I had all my brushes and all my makeup in here for the most part. I originally wanted to do this video before I left, but because of the timing and of so many things I needed to get done before I left, I just didn't have the time to do it. And I think it's actually better this way because now I can tell you what I brought that I didn't end up using. I think sometimes, especially with any type of packing, you tend to bring more than you need. At least that's what I do. I think, oh, what if this pops up and I want this? I try to just be prepared for any possible occasion. So I definitely brought some makeup that I didn't even touch or look at once while I was away. Before I get started though, I did want to point out this is the makeup look that I put together for my Get Ready With Me that I had going out last Sunday. That one was a little bit longer of a chatty video just to kind of get myself back into the swing of things of filming and just kind of catch up with you guys. A lot of exciting things have happened since I left for Italy. So I did want to touch base on some of the products that I tried for the first time in that video. It was a first impressions, but not really. And I thought to add a little bit more value to that video, I could do a check-in in this video. So this is, I think, 10 hours after filming that original video. I did it earlier this morning. I'm a little under the weather, so I immediately went back to bed for like 4 hours. And I didn't even think to take my makeup off or anything. I was just so tired I went back to bed. Woke up, ate, and then James and I learned that the new TV we just bought has the Too Cute channel on it. So it plays the show Too Cute, which if you guys don't know what that show is, please go look it up. It's honestly such a treat. It takes 3 sets of puppies or kittens or baby animals and it follows them around as they kind of grow up into adult puppies. And it's just the cutest thing. Oh my goodness. So I kind of got lost in that for a bit. I edited the video and 10 hours later, I was like, you know what? I don't have any sunlight left, but I still want to film, so here we are. First, let's talk about the eyeshadow. I used 1 or 2 shades from the Zoeva On Taupe palette. I know it wasn't a very good first impressions because I didn't use more shades in there and I only used 2 mattes, but I used Stitch by Stitch to set my eyeshadow primer and then Gallery, which is this middle shade right here, to put in my crease, and I also put it on my lower lash line a little bit. And then I used 2 singles from Nabla. I used this one here, which is Interference. That is all over my lid, and then Luna I put on the inner corner and on the inner third of the lid. And so far I haven't had any creasing. I use the Urban Decay Potion Primer with it, like I do for every other eyeshadow that I wear, and I didn't have any trouble with wearing away or creasing, especially since I am under the weather. My eyes are watering a lot, and when I was sleeping, you know, I wasn't like thinking about my eyes at all or being cognizant. I probably touched my face a lot. So the eyeshadows held up really well, and I do like, it was a very simple look. I don't really have the energy level to do like a super colorful look right now, so I just did something simple and I really like how the look turned out. I have 2 complexion products, the Beach Shield from Crave Beauty. This is, I believe, an SPF product. I put this under my makeup, and then I used the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to kind of top everything off and help everything melt together, and I think these worked really nicely. My skin is a little bit dry right now because of multiple factors, and so neither of these made me oily. I did take like a little brush right before filming and just kind of tapped right at the T-zone. I had a little bit of a glow, but I wasn't oily by any means. I didn't look bad. My makeup wasn't disturbed at all. My foundation wasn't moving around. I do have a little bit of wear and tear right here because I had my glasses on for a bit. All in all, I think these worked nicely, and I probably wouldn't use this in the summer months when I get really oily. This is definitely something that I'll use a lot during this time of year and as we get more into colder months. But this is nice. I like how fine the spray is, and sometimes they have sales on the Ulta website where you can get this for pretty cheap. I think I paid $11 for this. And the Beach Shield I think is really nice. I think it sits really nicely under makeup. It didn't make me greasy. It didn't feel heavy or sticky. You let it set in on top of your moisturizer and it kind of just feels like nothing. I don't think it leaves any white cast, but I don't know if I'm the best person to say if it'll leave a white cast or not, because most things aren't really gonna leave a white cast on my skin tone. But either way, I think these are nice. I'm very impressed with the SPF product, especially for something being $20 for this little bottle. I definitely want it to feel nice and be something that I want to use on a regular basis. So the best SPF out there is the one that you use. And then lastly, the Nabla liquid lipstick. I have not touched up once since this morning. This has survived a nap, it's survived a meal and snacks, and it's still not really wearing away that much. Might be a little bit worn in the middle, but it's not doing that weird like white ring that some nude liquid lipsticks do. My lips are a little bit dry, but 10 hours and it still looks normal on my lips. That's really good. I'm very impressed with that. Especially since my lips are kind of dry right now to begin with. So this definitely has my seal of approval. It hasn't felt cracking, nothing is peeling off. I put on one thin layer whenever I filmed this morning, and that has been the last of it. And I was going to touch up after I gave you my update, but I feel like I don't need to do it. I'm good. So now that my check-ins are done, I can now get into the actual subject matter of this video, which is what I brought with me on my trip. So I will mention 3 really quick non-makeup items that I brought. I brought the Embryolisse Lait Cream Concentrate. This was fantastic. I used it the entire time. And I brought the Certain Dry Everyday Clinical Antiperspirant in the Morning Fresh scent. This was also really great. And then for dry shampoo, I brought the Cake All Powderful Easy Blending Powder Shampoo. This is for platinum to light hair shades, and this is one of my favorite dry shampoos to begin with, but I brought this because it's not an aerosol dry shampoo, it's just a powder. So those are really great products I use all the time. And then other toiletries like toothpaste and body wash and sunscreen and stuff I just shared with my family, so I don't have them with me. And I also have a beauty blender around here somewhere. I carried that in my backpack separately. I did not use it one time while I was in Italy. I don't even know why I brought it. I usually apply foundation with my fingers anyway, but I thought I would want it for my concealer, but I was just doing really light-handed stuff. If I was using concealer, it was just like a tiny tap under both eyes, and then I just used my fingers to blend it in, so I didn't need the sponge. And I was also worried about where I was going to store it while it dried, and if I had to travel with it, I was going to keep it in like a tight space while it was still wet. I didn't know how that was going to work, so I just didn't even bother. I shouldn't have brought it, honestly. And I'm very happy to say that nothing broke over the course of my trip. I'm very excited about that. Nothing exploded, everything was packed well, everything survived, so that's very exciting. Now let's get on to the makeup part. For primers, I didn't bring a face primer. I just used the Embryolisse Concentrate as a primer and moisturizer. For eyelid primer, I used the Urban Decay this is the anti-aging version, and I think I only used this like once or twice, but to be honest, I only did a full-on eyeshadow look like a handful of times. I thought that this was good because it was very hot while I was over in Italy, and so when I was wearing makeup, I didn't want it to crease or smudge with my eyelids sweating, which I am susceptible to, so I am glad that I brought it. It did serve its purpose, and it did work whenever I did use it. I just didn't use it every single time I wore makeup because I wasn't always wearing eyeshadow. Now for the actual eyeshadow, I tried my hardest not to tap into the eyeshadows that I bought while I was traveling. I wanted to keep those unused so that I can kind of do like a first impression when I came back, which is what I did in my most recent video. The eyeshadow that I did use while I was gone was the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this one was nice because it had 2 different undertones of crease shades for me, Twig and Birch, depending on if I was going for something warmer or cooler. I mixed them together for pretty much all of my looks, and I think that looked really nice. It kind of kept it a little bit more neutral, so it wasn't leaning either way. And then I had tons of gorgeous lid shades to choose from. I also brought the NYX hashtag This Is Everything lip balm, one of my favorites to begin with. I don't see how I could have survived that trip without this. It's amazing. I also used the Catrice Volumizing Lip Balm, but I think my mom stole that from me, so I don't have it on me. For concealer, I brought 2 products. The first one is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer in the shade Fair. I do have a Bare Minerals color corrector that I'm working on, but I was worried I would run out of it before I got back because there's not a lot left. Plus, this is my favorite color corrector. I really love it, so I brought this with me. And I also brought the Revolution Supersize Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C7. I use this on my under eyes, and sometimes I would just use it as a foundation if I was lazy and I didn't want to do like a full face. For brows, I brought 2 different products. The first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe. I did not use this once. Instead, every time I did my brows, I used the NYX eyebrow pencils. I have one in the shade taupe and one in the shade ash brown. I used ash brown in the outer part of my brow and then taupe on the inner portion right at the beginning because it's a little bit lighter. And I used that today as well, and I like how it looks. And this was just really easy to do, and I didn't want to, you know, pull out a brush and do like a whole thing with my brows when I could just use a pencil really quick. So didn't use the Dip Brow Pomade even one time while I was gone. One Anastasia Beverly Hills product I used a ton was the waterproof cream color. This is in the shade Jet. It doesn't necessarily say that it's a liner, but that's what I use it for. I have missed pot liners. I had the L'Oreal one for a long time. I eventually decluttered it because it was getting old, and it's from a non-cruelty-free brand. And I was going to buy a new one, and I just never got around to it. I didn't know of a lot of affordable options. I knew Milani had one, but the reviews just never were really great for any of them. And then I went in to Sephora because I was doing a friend's wedding makeup, and I wanted her to have like a really nice, it's easier to put this type of liner on other people versus like a pencil or a pen. At least it is for me. I like using a brush and a pot liner. And I bought this one and the Tarte one. I ended up returning the Tarte one. I didn't even use it, and I kept this one, and I love it. It's amazing. It's waterproof. It's super pigmented. It's super, super creamy. Like the stuff here on the lid that I use to wipe off my brush, this is still creamy, but when you put it on your eyes, it sets and it stays put, and it's really nice. I don't know why people don't talk about this product more from Anastasia. It's really nice. For face powder, I used the RCMA No Color Powder. I decanted it into an old By Terry container that used to have the hyaluronic powder in it, and it was just easier for me to carry this around versus the giant salt shaker container that the RCMA powder is normally in. For blush, I brought two with me. I brought the Hourglass Incandescent Electra Blush. This is just one of my favorite blushes that I own. I thought this would give me a really nice healthy sheen. I thought it would look really nice if I had a little bit of a tan. And I did get a little bit of sun on my body. I did use sunscreen, but I got like no sun on my face. So I'm using darker foundations and bronzers to kind of make everything match, but I don't actually have any tan on my face. And this looked really nice with all the bronzer and all the darker foundation that I was wearing. And then if I wanted a more nude everyday blush, I brought my Essence this is called the Satin Touch Blush, and the shade is Satin Love number 20. And this is something I bought right before I left, and I figured it was $2.99. I'll bring it with me. If it randomly breaks, it's not like my most expensive blush, but I still brought a really expensive blush. I just figured this packaging was really sturdy and wouldn't break. And I just liked having a really peachy, bright, kind of sheeny blush, and then a natural nudie everyday blush depending on what I was going for. For highlighters, I brought a couple different options. I brought the Wet n Wild Blossom Glow highlighter. It's over there. I don't feel like getting it. I used that, and I used it a couple times, but as I got tanner and I started using more bronzer to make everything match, I found that it looked a little bit icy on me, so I didn't wear it for the last half of the trip. But at the beginning I wore it a lot and I really liked it. I used the Cover FX Moonlight Mini Highlighter, the powder version, a lot. This was really nice. It went really well with the blushes and with all the other makeup I was doing. It was really pretty. And I also brought the liquid version of the same shade from Cover FX. This is a little mini of Moonlight. I liked having little mini highlights to bring with me. That was nice. And I did use this a couple of times. I found that it was really hot. I was sweating a lot. I didn't need creamy, really pigmented highlights to give me the glow because I was already getting it already. Couple eyeliners here. I have the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal in Black is Black. I use this a ton. I also brought the Physicians Formula Eye Booster in Ultra Black. I did not use this once. If I wanted to use a black liner, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Waterproof Cream Color. For mascara, I brought a full size of the Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. I had used up a mini of this right before I left, and I had like a voucher for a free full-size mascara, so I got this one, and I do really like it. And I don't know, you'll find that a lot of the makeup that I brought has like gold packaging. Like pretty much like a lot of the stuff that I brought has gold packaging. I don't know if I was just going for a theme subconsciously or what. And so this was really nice to bring. The packaging for this is so fancy. It's very like weighted and it's nice. I don't think I'd ever actually pay full price for such an expensive mascara because it is something that I only keep around for a couple months, but it was really nice to use and I'm really enjoying it so far. Another gold packaging, I have a bronzer here from Too Faced. This is the Chocolate Soleil, so it's the medium to deep matte bronzer. And I brought this one because I wanted something that was a little bit darker. I can use a light hand and it'll match me even when I'm really fair if I use a very light hand. But I can really build it up and make it deeper, which is what I needed to make my face and neck match my arms, which I'm still having trouble doing, if you can see. So this worked really nicely. I used this every single day. Now for my largest category, and isn't this the largest category for everyone? Every time I see these types of videos, it seems like everybody brings just a shit ton of lip products, just all different types of colors and formulas depending on what you're feeling. And that was my idea too. I could create some really natural, neutral colored looks with the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then I could play it up with a lip color. I brought 4 bullet lipsticks. Pretty much the majority of the bullet lipsticks that I own I brought with me. I brought all 3 of my Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I have Bitch Perfect and Live It Up here, but I do have Pillow Talk somewhere around here. I think it might be in my backpack. So I just brought each of these because they're all nudes but they have different undertones. So Live It Up is a really pretty pink color. I actually fell in love with this over the trip because I would use a brownie nude lip liner. This is Sugar Glass by NYX. I would use this to kind of do the outer portion of my lip and then kind of fill it in a little bit. And then I would use this to kind of touch up in the middle. And it's pretty much my perfect nude and it's really pretty. I really liked this. And then when I wanted something a little bit more peachy, I brought out Bitch Perfect. And when I wanted something a little bit more of like a deeper nude, I used Pillow Talk. My last bullet lipstick is from Urban Decay. This is the shade Back Talk. This is, once again, a nude color. It's on my Instagram stories where I did my makeup on the train. I did that 2 times because only time that I had time to put makeup on. And I used this in my first look, I believe, and I really like how it turned out. I used this a couple more times throughout the course of the trip. Some more nudie shades that I brought. This is a NYX lip liner in the shade Peekaboo Neutral, I think. Yeah, Peekaboo Neutral. And it's just a light pink, really pretty. Used this a couple times. I also used Perla. It's a little bit of a deeper, pulls more of like a cool toned nude on me whenever it dries down. And this is one of my favorite liquid lipstick shades, so I'm glad to have a little mini of it. I used this a lot as well. Now for some shades that I did not use one time. So I figured while I'm over there, if I want a bright lip, I'm either gonna go with a purple or I'm gonna go with a red. And if I'm going for a red, I'm either gonna go for something blue based or I'm gonna go for something really orangey. I had this plan like pretty much before I even left. I knew that whenever we went to Venice to visit family, I was gonna wear Venezia. One of my favorite liquid lipsticks, my first ever liquid lipstick that I ever bought. Different tube. I've since bought a new one since then, but I have the shade Venezia from Stila and I was like, oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna wear it while I'm in Venice. Didn't even wear it once. I don't even think I wore makeup one time while I was in Venice. I just did not have the energy for that. It was towards the tail end of the trip and I was just exhausted. And the lip liner that I had with that is Summer Tease by NYX. And then for my blue-based red, also that I never wore one time, I have Fieri. I think it's Fieri. I always want to say Fiery, but I think it's Fieri from Stila. It's a similar red, but it's more blue toned. And then the lip liner that goes with it is again from NYX. The words have come off the tube, but I think it's in the shade Red Tape. And then my purple, I brought Bittersweet from Urban Decay. And then this is Madison from Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are shades that I really like. I just didn't wear them. If I wore a lip color, it was a bullet lipstick, something moisturizing, something easy to reapply. And I think a big reason why I didn't want to wear heavy makeup wasn't just because of the heat or because I was tired or I just didn't feel like putting on makeup. Like a good chunk, maybe 90% of the reason why I didn't wear loud colors or heavy makeup was because I'm meeting a lot of family that I don't see for several years at a time. And if you guys know how Italians do it, they do like the 2-cheek kiss. And so I didn't want to be meeting like 15 people in a row and like doing all the kisses and just like rubbing my makeup off onto their face or getting lipstick all over them. And of course I got lipstick all over me from all of my aunts and stuff. And I really don't mind it at all. It's like a wonderful reason not to wear it, but it's like, If I had a chance to wear a bright red lip, I was like, no, because I know I'm just gonna be smushing it all over people's faces for the rest of the trip, and I don't want to do that. I've learned so many lessons about how to more properly pack my makeup, and I think as I travel more, I think I'm just gonna get better and better with that kind of stuff. It might look like everything very neatly fits in here right now, but when you put all the brushes in, and sometimes I'm throwing this foundation in here, even if it goes in a luggage technically, it was very difficult to close sometimes, and it was just kind of a burden. I wish I had just taken just like 4 or 5 things out of here that I knew I wasn't going to use and just not brought them at all, and I think it would have saved me a lot of hassle. And I do want to point out that I brought this in my carry-on. I put it in my backpack because I was terrified that it would just all get destroyed if I put it in my luggage. I hope this video was informative and fun for you. I'm still kind of getting back in the swing of things. I just feel re-energized and even more motivated than normal to come out with some really cute ideas for videos, so please stay tuned. I'm excited for some of the stuff I'm going to be coming out with in the future. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. That's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye guys!